Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Rose Writes and I write and narrate Miraculous Ladybug fan fiction. Right now I am about 30 subscribers away from 800, so I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for the love and the sweet comments. You guys are truly the best and I appreciate all of you so much. Also, shout out to Know Your Meme on Pinterest for their beautiful art. This story is based on this idea from Vilma Santos. I will leave it on the screen for you to read if you'd like, and without further ado, please enjoy If Only We Knew. Pound it, Ladybug said with her fist awaiting Cat Noir. He just stared at her, unmoving. Yeah, whatever. He turned from her, extending his staff quickly. Wait, Cat! Ladybug grabbed his tail, nearly toppling him over. What's wrong? And don't say nothing. I know you better than that. Sure, but do I really know you? His back was still turned away from her, arms now crossed, closing himself off. Cat, what are you talking about? His spotted partner, anxiety building in her chest, put a hand on Cat's shoulder, which he shrugged off. He couldn't see it, but her face was filled with hurt. This turmoil was a new feeling. What was wrong? Why wouldn't he just talk to her? She couldn't understand. Ladybug racked her brain, trying to think of what she did, but her mind came up blank. Why don't you talk to Carapace and Rena Rouge? They seem to know everything. About each other, and probably about you too. Cat Noir walked a few feet to sit on the edge of the Montparnasse Tower. He could see the Eiffel Tower from his spot. The Eiffel Tower standing tall and alone. It reminded him of how lonely he felt, disconnected from everyone, his friends, his father, and now the one person he thought he could confide in, Ladybug. This city of love had been nothing but the city of heartbreak and lies to him. Ladybug sat next to him in silence. Her heart raced, her head throbbed. She hated this feeling. After what felt like an eternity, he broke the silence. I know they're Alia and Nino, Cat Noir blurted out. Ladybug's eyes grew wide as she whipped her head to stare at Cat, who still wouldn't look at her. And I know that you gave them their Miraculous at the same time. Cat, I just want to know why, Cat Noir interrupted. Why don't you trust me? She was taken aback. Why didn't she trust him? She trusted Cat Noir more than anyone. She trusted him with her life. Why do you think I don't trust you? Her voice was small and shaky. You said we shouldn't know each other's identities for our safety and for our family's safety. But it was just another lie. You never cared about me. I might as well give you my Miraculous because apparently I'm not worthy of it. Cat Noir, wait! Ladybug's eyes filled with tears as she grabbed his hands, stopping him from removing his ring. You think I don't care about you? I love you. I want to protect you. I don't want you to get akumatized again. Her hands flew to her face as she sobbed quietly. Again? He didn't remember that. When was it? He wrapped an arm around her shoulders, attempting to comfort her through the uneasiness he felt. Hey, I'm sorry, okay? I shouldn't have said any of that. But, I've been akumatized before? When? And why? He had a million questions. Not once had Ladybug mentioned this to him, and probably for a good reason. We were dating as our civilian selves, and I don't know all of the details, but you nearly triggered the end of the world, so if you know who I am, I'm worried you might be akumatized. I can't bear to see you like that again. Her voice grew louder, more intense as she spoke. The end of the world? And we were dating? A subtle pink hue spread across his face. Maybe you were so upset when you found out I was Ladybug that you lost control. Whatever it was, I can't let it happen again. He took her shoulders in both hands, looking into her beautiful eyes. Ladybug, I love you. I always have. I mean it. If we dated as civilians, I know that I'd love you. But, I understand if you don't feel comfortable telling me. His grip drifted from her shoulders to her hands, intertwining them with his. Was it just him, or was she blushing? I'm sorry I got so angry before. Knowing that I was akumatized. It makes sense why you didn't tell me. I get it, Ladybug. A smirk played at the corner of his lips as he went to stand, towering over her. He held out a hand. Dance with me? The blushing bug looked at his hand before taking it shyly. Of course. He helped his lady to her feet, then put one hand around her waist, the other gripping her hand. Cat Noir led her in a waltz, their movements flowing, becoming one. They were a team in every sense of the word. Their legato movements spun them in circles and twirls around the clearing at the top of the tower. Lucky charm, she whispered, her breath warm against his neck. Cat looked at her inquisitive as a red and black spotted rose cascaded from the sky, doing a dance of its own. In 5 minutes, I'll transform back. She looked at the flower now resting delicately in her palm before smiling, handing it to him. For you. He grinned at the gesture. Cataclysm. He breathed, gripping the flower that turned into dust. Her face morphed into shock, then softened as she leaned her head against his chest. I'm sorry, Cat, she whispered as they swayed in unison. 3 minutes to go. You're sorry? Why are you sorry? There's no need to apologize. If anyone's to blame, it's... Please, no. None of this would have happened if I hadn't been keeping secrets from you. You deserve to know everything. I was selfish. And scared. Yes, I wanted to protect you, but also, I thought you'd reject me if you found out who I really am. If only we knew our identities from the beginning, then maybe. The unfinished sentence hung in the air. If only they knew, would things have been different? If they knew, would everything change? Her bluebell eyes timidly met his emerald stare, tears lingering in her eyes, threatening to overflow. This girl had his entire heart. Milady, whoever you are, I'm in love with you. She smiled. 2 minutes left. Any last guesses? On my identity, I mean. A competitive grin flashed across her face. He broke their dance, beginning to pace back and forth. Well, if Alia is Rena Rouge and Chloe is Queen Bee, then that rules them out. He scratched his chin in thought. Then, epiphany, his eyes lit up. You know, there was one person I suspected to be Ladybug. Never been akumatized. But then again, I saw you and her together once. But it could have been a trick. You're both very clever. The more he rambled on, the faster his voice got. He looked like he was trying to solve the biggest conspiracy theory ever created. Ladybug took a few steps in his direction, arms crossed. What are you going on about? Without meeting her suspicious gaze, Cat Noir whispered, Marinette. Marinette? Had he said her name? She felt dizzy, head reeling. He guessed so easily, and she had no clue who he might be. No fair. Maybe, maybe not. You'll have to wait to find out, she said as her earrings gave a 1-minute warning. 1 more minute. Then there would be no more secrets. Finally. Just out of curiosity, though, how would you feel if I were Marinette? She looked at him through her peripheral vision, trying to appear casual. He chuckled. I'd be happy, milady. Because, like I said, whoever is beneath the mask, I love her. I love you, Ladybug. Promise? She squeaked, taking his hands. Ladybug chewed on her bottom lip as she met his eyes. "Cross my heart, Bugaboo." "Good. I love you too, Cat Noir." As she uttered those words, she was shrouded in a familiar pink light. When her transformation faded away, Cat opened his eyes to find Marinette standing there looking back at him, her face turning a shade of crimson. He stared at her for a long moment before she said, "Hi," in the smallest voice. His heart pounded against the walls of his chest, harder and harder. His ring gave a warning beep of its own. He tilted her chin up. "May I kiss you?" Both teens blushed furiously. This would be his first kiss. Well, the first kiss he could remember. The others happened during akumatization, so he had no memory of them. She nodded before saying, "Of course." Cat leaned in slowly, then placed a lingering kiss on her lips. He held her tight against him. With the warmth of his kiss came the glow of his detransformation. Their lips never parted. Marinette held his face as a bright green light encompassed him, revealing someone she had never suspected. "Adrien?" Her voice rose a couple of octaves as she stumbled backwards to look at him. "Hey." The blonde boy stood smiling at her. "Disappointed?" "Nuh-uh." Marinette ran back into his arms, pulling him by the collar into another kiss. She broke away, a coy look spread across her face. "Do you still love me?" "More than I've ever loved anything or anyone." Adrien embraced the girl of his dreams, and just as he was about to kiss her again, they heard Andre the Sweetheart's ice cream maker settling in at the bottom of the tower. "Sweetheart's ice cream!" Marinette exclaimed, twirling around with her arms in the air. She looked so cute. Adrien's face matched her expression. He couldn't believe how lucky he was to have Marinette in his life. His partner. And his best friend. "Shall we?" He offered an elbow, which she took immediately. "We shall." And off they went to get their own special blend of ice cream. Thank you so much for listening. I really love doing one-shots, so if you have any ideas, leave them below. I have a few I'm working on, but I love hearing everyone else's ideas as well. As always, stay miraculous!